Donald Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon has described the Trump Tower meeting between the president's son and a group of Russians during the 2016 election campaign as treasonous and unpatriotic, according to an explosive new book seen by The Guardian. Bannon, speaking to author Michael Wolff, warned that the investigation into alleged collusion with the Kremlin will focus on money laundering and predicted, "They're going to crack Don Jr. like an egg on national TV, fire and fury." Inside the Trump White House, reportedly based on more than 200 interviews with the president, his inner circle and players in and around the administration, is one of the most eagerly awaited political books of the year. In it, Wolff lifts the lid on a White House lurching from crisis to crisis amid internecine warfare, with even some of Trump's closest allies expressing contempt for him. Bannon, who was chief executive of the Trump campaign in its final 3 months, then White House chief strategist for 7 months before returning to the right-wing Breitbart News, is a central figure in the nasty, cutthroat drama, quoted extensively, often in salty language. He's particularly scathing about a June 2016 meeting involving Trump's son Donald Jr., son-in-law Jared Kushner, then campaign chairman Paul Manafort and Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya at Trump Tower in New York. A trusted intermediary had promised documents that would incriminate rival Hillary Clinton, but instead of alerting the FBI to a potential assault on American democracy by a foreign power, Trump Jr. replied in an email, "I love it." The meeting was revealed by the New York Times in July last year, prompting Trump Jr. to say no consequential material was produced. Soon after, Wolff writes, Bannon remarked, mockingly, "The 3 senior guys in the campaign thought it was a good idea to meet with a foreign government inside Trump Tower in the conference room on the 25th floor, with no lawyers. They didn't have any lawyers. Even if you thought that this was not treasonous, or unpatriotic, or bad shit, and I happen to think it's all of that, you should have called the FBI immediately," Bannon went on. Wolff writes, to say that if any such meeting had to take place, it should have been set up in a Holiday Inn in Manchester, New Hampshire, with your lawyers who meet with these people. Any information, he said, could then be dumped down to Breitbart or something like that, or maybe some other more legitimate publication. Bannon added, "You never see it, you never know it, because you don't need to, but that's the brain trust that they had." Bannon also speculated that Trump Jr. had involved his father in the meeting. The chance that Don Jr. did not walk these Jumos up to his father's office on the 26th floor is zero. Interactive Special Counsel Robert Mueller was appointed last May, following Trump's dismissal of FBI Director James Comey, to investigate Russian meddling in the 2016 election. This has led to the indictments of 4 members of Trump's inner circle, including Manafort and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to money laundering charges. Flynn has pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI. In recent weeks, Bannon's Breitbart News and other conservative outlets have accused Mueller's team of bias against the president. Trump predicted in an interview with the New York Times last week that the special counsel was going to be fair, though he also said the investigation makes the country look very bad. The president and his allies deny any collusion with Russia, and the Kremlin has denied interfering. Bannon has criticized Trump's decision to fire Comey. In Wolff's book, obtained by The Guardian ahead of publication from a bookseller in New England, he suggests White House hopes for a quick end to the Mueller investigation are gravely misplaced. "You realize where this is going," he is quoted as saying. "This is all about money laundering. Mueller chose senior prosecutor Andrew Weissman first, and he is a money laundering guy. Their path to fucking Trump goes right through Paul Manafort, Don Jr. and Jared Kushner. It's as plain as a hair on your face." Last month, it was reported that federal prosecutors had subpoenaed records from Deutsche Bank, the German financial institution that has lent hundreds of millions of dollars to the Kushner property empire. Bannon continues, "It goes through Deutsche Bank, and all the Kushner shit. The Kushner shit is greasy. They're going to go right through that. They're going to roll those 2 guys up and say, 'Play me, trade me,'" scorning apparent White House insouciance. Bannon reaches for a hurricane metaphor. They're sitting on a beach trying to stop a Category 5. He insists that he knows no Russians, will not be a witness, will not hire a lawyer, and will not appear on national television answering questions. Fire and Fury will be published next week. Wolff is a prominent media critic and columnist who has written for The Guardian and is a biographer of Rupert Murdoch. He previously conducted interviews for The Hollywood Reporter with Trump in June 2016 and Bannon a few months later. He told The Guardian in November that to research the book, he showed up at the White House with no agenda, but wanting to find out what the insiders were really thinking and feeling. He enjoyed extraordinary access to Trump and senior officials and advisors, he said, sometimes at critical moments of the fledgling presidency. The rancor between Bannon and Javanka Kushner and his wife Ivanka Trump is a recurring theme of the book. Kushner and Ivanka are Jewish. Henry Kissinger, the former Secretary of State, is quoted as saying, "It is a war between the Jews and the non-Jews. Trump is not spared." Wolf writes that Thomas Barrack Jr., a billionaire who is one of the president's oldest associates, allegedly told a friend, "He's not only crazy, he's stupid." Barrack denied that to the New York Times.